I would in the playlist of Basic Electrical Engineering. In this session, I am going to discuss very important topic in the area of electrical engineering. Let's get understand what is real power, reactive power and apparent power. Before beginning of the session, I request everyone to subscribe my channel, and if the content is fruitful for you, kindly share with the others also. First, let's understand what do you mean by real power. You can call real power as active power or true power. What is real power? In fact, the power which is actually consumed or utilized in an AC circuit is known as real power, or you can call active power or true power. The real power can be measured either watts, kilowatts or megawatts. And also, it is the actual outcomes of the electrical system which runs the electrical circuit or the load. So that is called real power. The power which can be utilized or consumed, that is known as real power. Another important terminology, what is a reactive power? The power which flows back and forth, that means it moves in both directions circuit or reacts upon itself, is known as reactive power. It cannot be consumed. It moves from one end to another end or reacts upon itself. Such kind of power is termed as reactive power. The reactive power is measured in terms of VAR. That means volt ampere reactive, or you can go for higher range, kilovolt ampere reactive or megavolt ampere reactive. These are the different units of reactive power. How about the reactive power? How does it come? You know that the power has been, we already studied about analysis of R circuit, L circuit and C circuit. We found that the power is consumed only in resistance. Power will be dissipated in the form of heat. But how about inductor and capacitor? Are you recalling? A pure inductor and pure capacitor do not consume any power, since in half cycle, whatever the power received from the source by these components, the same power will be returned to the source. That is true. We already derived the expression also. Average power consumed for inductor is equal to 0. Average power consumed by pure capacitor is equal to 0. We already derived. If you want to have that particular video, please click on the I button. I am going to put up in the I button or in the description box. This power which returns and flows in both the direction in the circuit is known as reactive power. The reactive power does not perform any useful work in the circuit. We cannot able to consume the circuit. We cannot able to consume the reactive power for the circuit. Okay, that is about reactive power. Okay. Now I would like to discuss about the third terminology, that is called apparent power. What do you mean by apparent power? The product of root mean square value of voltage, that is VRMS, and current, that is IRMS. Then you will be getting the apparent power. Okay, apparent power will be represented by the letter S. The real power will be represented by the letter P. The reactive power will be represented by the letter Q. What could be the unit of apparent power? Apparent power is measured in terms of volt ampere. If you want to have a higher range, you can call it as kilovolt ampere, or still if you want to go for higher range, then better call megavolt ampere. Correct? These are called the apparent power. Now we have to mention how do you get the real power? What about the apparent power? What about active active power? Real power, apparent power and reactive power. So to analyze this, we have to draw one triangle called power triangle. How to draw the power triangle? Let's understand what do you mean by power triangle. How do you get? First you consider an inductive circuit. What is the speciality of inductive circuit? In case of inductive circuit, of course, the current lags behind the voltage. See, current I lags behind the voltage at an angle of phase angle phi. Now what you can do, this is your current I. Now you have to split the current in horizontal and vertical direction. First, let me split the current in horizontal direction. If I split the current in horizontal direction, I'll be getting the horizontal component as I cos phi. Suppose I divide the current in vertical direction, I'll be getting the component as I sin phi. I hope you understood. So the same component will be applicable here also, because both are same side, no? Okay, both will be same. Here also I can call it as I sin phi. Both are same. Correct? Now you please concentrate only this triangle. Let me hash this triangle. Yeah. So this triangle you are supposed to concentrate. This triangle is known as current triangle. I hope you understood. What are the sides of triangle? Hypotenuse will be I, right? Then one side will be I cos phi. The height will be I sin phi. This is phi only, not theta. Phi. Correct? This triangle you have to keep in your mind. This triangle is known as current triangle. Do one thing. Multiply each side of the current triangle by using voltage V. You know voltage V. Let us multiply the voltage V with all the side of current triangle. Now how we can able to modify? Yeah. So let us see what we can able to say. I'll be multiplying each side of the current triangle by using the voltage V. So first let us multiply I cos phi with the V. What you will be getting? I'll be getting Vi cos phi. Correct? Vi, sorry. So I'm going to multiply I cos phi with the V. Then I'll be getting Vi cos phi. Vi cos phi. Here I'll be multiplying I with the V. Then I'll be getting Vi. When it comes to the vertical side, I sin phi will be multiplied with the V. Then I am able to get Vi sin phi. Vi sin phi. Like this I am able to get. Now you call Vi cos phi is known as real power. Then Vi sin phi is known as reactive power. And Vi is known as apparent power. Unit of real power is kilowatts. Unit of reactive power is kilovolt ampere reactive. Unit of apparent power is kilovolt ampere, kVA or VA. So this triangle is known as power triangle. Whatever the triangle which we have drawn early, that is known as current triangle. Power triangle has been derived from current triangle. I hope you got my point. Yes. The horizontal component is known as active component and vertical component is known as reactive component. So therefore, we can able to say that active power can be calculated using the formula Vi cos phi. Reactive power, which is denoted by the letter Q, or you can write P subscript R. Q is actually better. That is Vi sin phi. Then apparent power represented by the letter A, either S or P subscript A, that is equal to Vi, where V and I are RMS value. Correct? This forms a power triangle. I hope you got my point. Day-to-day life, you will be consuming this kind of food items. Yes? Am I right or not? Okay. Inside there are lot of potato chips. And there are air also in that packet. Whatever the air is available in the Lay's packet, can it be consumed? Never. You will consume only the edible. So we can call the air and the other segment, that is called reactive power. That analogous to reactive power. Where the potato chips, whatever the edible items, that is represented the real power or true power. Altogether we will be getting a Lay's packet or the food packet, that you can call it as apparent power. So the sum of real power and reactive power forms apparent power. This is a clear cut idea. If you want one more example, I'll be showing you. Look at the suitable diagram. Here you can able to see the flight. So you will be paying for the fuel for the vertical portion of flight as well as fuel for the horizontal portion of the flight. Actually the vertical, when the flight wanted to go a little bit vertical, certain height, that you need to pay. That is for reactive power, paying for reactive power. What is real power? If the plane starts from one point to another point, then we call it as a real power. But you have to pay for reactive power, because reactive power is the plane wanted to maintain a certain height to fly. Am I right or not? For taking off, that you know. So that is another example. The summary, we studied about what is real power, what is reactive power, and what is apparent power, and we have discussed the significance as well. If you are having any questions, you can put up in the comment box. Surely I will revert.